Good, okay. Good evening. I apologize for the late start, but here we are. Okay. 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 Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense. With host Jose Negron. Okay. As I was saying, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the very first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense, because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues and we try to find logical solutions. Um, but not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called uncommon sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And I see here that Gigi and Irby has started the chat. Good evening. Thank you very much, people, for coming in um, to my strength, my life. So I do want to let people know that if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, if you're not done so, you need to subscribe to the channel. Uh, it's my attempt to try to keep out the members of the peanut gallery while showing up on the string. Okay, so before I continue, I just want to send a huge shout out to all those already have subscribed from the channel. Thank you very much. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. And I want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you have not done so, I'm going to ask you if you're not done so, subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Again, I apologize for the late start, but here we are. Okay, here we are. So, and as you can see by the thumbnail, uh, for tonight is women achievements in politics. Now let me just explain to you why I decided to have this topic. First of all, because it is Women History Month, and I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use my platform and I'm going to, in my small way, acknowledge the achievement that women have made in the area of politics. So I will be doing throughout this month, I will be highlighting achievements that women have made. Next week, I'm going to be discussing the achievements that women have made in the area of business. Yes, people, business. because acknowledge the fact that the so-called members of the weaker sex have achieved a great deal. Unfortunately, some people do not know about it. So that's another reason why I'm going to be discussing this as well. Now, what I'm going to do, first of all, I already dropped the link if anyone wishes to join the panel. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try again because I was having some typical difficulties uh, to share my screen if my computer will cooperate. Okay, just bear with me, please. This is one of those technical difficulty nights I'm having, so I'm gonna try to see if I can share. Okay, just give me a moment, people. If I can't screen, I'm just gonna have to read it. Okay. Hello, guys. I apologize. I'm here. Well, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna try to share my screen. What I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna read off my phone because at this point, um, it's one of those nights, unfortunately. So I again I do apologize. Last thing I was discussing, just give me a moment, guys. Okay. Okay, the last thing that I was trying to discuss back in June 10th, 1963, signs Equal Pay Act prohibiting sex-based wage discrimination between men and women performing the same job in the same place. Okay. Now that's very important because one of the issues that women have is not being paid equally for the work that male on July 2nd, 1964, President Johnson signs the Civil Rights Act into law. Title VII bans employment discrimination based on race, religion, national origin, or sex. So that's something that's very important. Now, moving forward to June 23rd, Title IX of the Education Amendment is signed into law by President Richard Nixon. It states no person in the United States shall be, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participate or denied the benefit or be subject to discrimination under any educational program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Meant that women could not be discriminated based on their gender if they wish to pursue education. Okay. Now, going forward, we're going to go into a very controversial decision that the Supreme Court made was back in January the 22nd, 1960, in the Supreme Court's case, Roe v. Wade. Um, the U.S. Supreme Court declares the Constitution's right to protect the woman's legal right to an abortion. However, in June of 2022, the Supreme Court overruled the decision. Now, I'm not going to discuss whether abortion is appropriate or legal or what have you. That's something for another stream. Good evening, Don Armando. Tonight, we're talking about the achievements that women have made in the area of politics. So now we're going to get into um, what's known as the Battle of the Sexes. Okay, it's September 20th, 1973. Tennis great Billie Jean King beats Bobby Riggs in straight sets during an exhibition match on primetime TV and drawing 90 million viewers. He thought it would set us back 50 years if I didn't win that match, King said after the match. It was women's tour and affected women's self-esteem. So that's something to consider. Now we're going to get into local recent history coming women achievements. Okay. On July the 7th, 1981, Senator Hunter is sworn in by President Ronald Reagan as the first woman to serve in the U.S. Supreme Court. She retires in 2006 after serving for 24 years. Now I believe we have, if I'm not mistaken, three or more women on the Supreme Court. And I see here we have the future is golden. Good evening. Thank you very much for stopping by. So now we're going to continue on with the achievements that women have made. On July 18th, 1983, flying the shuttle Challenger, Sally Ride becomes the first American woman in space. Okay. Interesting. Now, the next year, July 1984, uh, the Democratic president nominee Walter Mondale names Geraldine Ferraro from New York as his running mate, making her the first woman vice president nominee by a major party. Okay. Um, Going forward, in January 23rd, 1997, Madeleine Albright is sworn in as the nation's first female Secretary of State. In time, we will have another woman to serve in that capacity, namely Hillary Rodham Clinton. I'm not here to and talk about, you know, her effectiveness. I'm just simply here to acknowledge the fact that women have made great achievements in the area of politics. Okay. On September the 13th, 1994, President Clinton signs the Violence Against Women Act as part of the Violence Control and Law Enforcement Act, providing funding for women programs to help victims of domestic violence, I'm just going to say rape, sexual assault, stalking, and other gender-related violence. Something that's very important. Okay. Now, moving forward, on January the 4th, 2007, U.S. Representative Nancy Pelosi, Democrat from California, becomes the first female Speaker of the House. In 2019, she reclaims the title, becoming the first lawmaker to hold the office 2 times in more than 50 years. She stepped down from the leadership role in 2022. Okay. Now, moving forward, in January 24, 2013, the U.S. military removed a ban against women serving in combat positions. Now, for some people, this is considered controversial because of the fact there's the belief that women should be seen. I think anyone who is able, who is fit, whether it be male or female, should hold whatever position that they wish to aspire. Okay. Now, on July 26, 2016, Hillary Clinton becomes the first woman to receive a presidential nomination from a major political party. During her speech at the National Democratic Convention, she says, "Standing here as my mother's daughter and my daughter's mother, I'm so happy this day has come." Okay. Unfortunately, well, or depending how you view it, fortunately or unfortunately, she was not successful in defeating Donald Trump in becoming president of the United States. Well, I'm not going to discuss that here. And now we're going to go into January the 20th, 2021. Kamala Harris is sworn in as the first woman and first woman of color vice president of the United States. While I may be the first woman in this office, I will not be the last, Harris said after getting elected. The daughter of Jamaican and Indian immigrants served as California first. Okay, they say they put me on black, but let's say she's mixed. Okay, I think translation. She was the first Blasian female attorney general and won election to the U.S. Senate in 2016. She made her own unsuccessful presidential bid before being selected by former Vice President Joe Biden as his running mate. Okay, and let me just park it from here. Park it here. Okay. Now, as you can see here, um, let's just give you a sampling of the achievements women have made in the area of politics. Also, I want to highlight that recently here in New York, I'm just trying to think. I think it was the election of 2022 here in New York. We have now a large member of the city council who all happen to be women. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with New York City politics, okay, and actually, Irby asked a question, which is who is his favorite female politician? Um, that's a very good question. Okay, because we do have um, a large number of women who are serving in the House. We also have women serving in the Senate. We have also have women serving in cabinet roles. We also have women um, who have been ambassadors for the United States. So, what I'm going to ask, if anyone wishes to have any comments, and again, I do apologize, not just for the late start, but the problems with the audio. I'm going to see if I can rectify this problem because I'm going to be devoting a considerable amount of time um, as far as discussing this issue. Now, the reason why I chose to discuss this issue because I want to highlight women achievements. Um, Unfortunately, you have certain male individuals that have the wrong concept regarding women. I mean, unfortunately, and we gotta keep it real. Unfortunately, there are some boys, okay, again, boys that see women not more than sexual instruments. Okay. Don't get beautiful women. You have women that are very intelligent. Okay. And unlike a certain YouTube creator from Canada way, um, I'm not going to say nasty things about women if they disagree with me. Okay? Everyone has a right to their own point of view. And unlike a certain individual, again from Canada, this is not an echo chamber. Here, all views are welcome. Okay? And I mean all views. Okay? And if for some reason you disagree with me, that's perfectly fine. Or okay, that's what I ask is let's discuss it, okay? Which is perfectly fair. Now, what I'm going to do is, okay, I'm just going to read a part of an article from. Well, you know what? I don't look. I don't mean to make a. I don't mean to make a job on anyone, but it's just that I find it odd that here in 2023 we have people that fear another point of view to the point where they showing they saying all types of nasty names directed towards women and calling them everything under the sun other than a child of God. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a portion of an article called "Notable Women in Politics: Achievement, Evolution, and Impact." Now, this is something that I think it's very important to know that as of 2021, there are 142 women serving in Congress. Okay, and that when you think about it, you're talking about um, the House, which has 435 representatives, and the Senate, which has 100 representatives. So we're talking about in total out of 535 individuals serving in the House and in the Senate, 142 are filled with women. Um, can we do better? Yes, we can. And hopefully, it will get to the point when here in the United States, where people will judge people not on their gender, not on their color, not on their sexual orientation, but on whether or not they are able to perform the duties as a member of the House or the Senate. Okay. Now, the sad part is this even with that, only 1/4 of the Congress is made up with of women. Okay. And that's considering the fact there are more women in the United States than men. I know sometimes it doesn't seem that way, but that is the reality. Okay. Now, throughout U.S. history, women has played an important and ever-evolving role in the political landscape. From Abigail Adams urging the founding fathers to remember their ladies in 1776 to 2021, when Kamala Harris became the first woman and the first woman of color to take office as vice president. Um, you know what I'm going to do? Going forward, I'm going to refer to Kamala Harris as the first Blasian um, vice president. Now, here's something that it's very important to bear in mind. Despite barriers to entry, women in politics continue to break into new government roles, using their knowledge and their experience to shape the nation's laws, policies, and organizations. As American politics continue to evolve and new resources emerge to support diverse contributors, great potential exists to expand women involvement in government. Um, the history of women in American politics is rich and varied. As the nation grew, roles in government and politics movement involved as well. Although it was not always have been actively excluded from the political landscape for centuries, often having to fight or even inherit their way into a government role. Uh, the term widow's succession, for example, was coined to describe the most common way women to enter Congress well into the 1970s by being elected or appointed to take the place of a deceased male relative. In 1922, Winifred Mason Huck was elected to finish her late husband's term as representative in Illinois. In 1973, Linda Boggs took over her husband's seat as Louisiana representative after he was pursuing debt in a plane crash. She kept her position for over 18 years. Okay. Now, I already highlighted uh, a lot of the achievements women have made. Okay. And it's hard to believe that it wasn't until 1920 when women were given the right to vote. Now, this is something that I overlooked. In 1933, Frances Perkins becomes the first woman to serve in a cabinet position, having been appointed Secretary of Labor by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Perkins was instrumental in writing the New Deal, which included landmark progress to restore the economy and increase jobs. Okay. Now, here's something that I also overlooked, but it's something that we need to discuss. The year 1992 was nicknamed the Year of the Woman. It was in 1992 marked the first time that two or more women served in the Senate simultaneously. By the end of the year, another four women had become elected. Okay. So this is something to bear in mind. Okay. So it just gives you an idea how much women have achieved, and also there's a great deal that women need to achieve. Uh, for example, we still do not have a woman has become president of the United States. Unfortunately, there is a great deal of backlash regarding in the Oval Office for many reasons. And of course, some of these on gender bias. Like, for example, you can't have a woman in the White House because while she's having, um, how could I say this? It's that time in the month when the hormones are going off the charts, and then give that woman that much power. I mean, unfortunately, there's still many people that hold that belief. Women as well. Excuse me. Okay. I'm going to give you my perspective when it comes to. I think I think in I would say perhaps within the next 20 to 30 years, we're going to see um, the first woman to be president of the United States. Unfortunately, being the first of anything brings about its challenges and what have you. And some people recall that when John Kennedy was running to become president in 1960, he had to overcome a certain bias against him based on the fact that he was Catholic, and there was concerns that um, he would not execute uh, the laws of the United States, listen to the of course, I'm not going to evaluate what type of person candidate was as the president. That's something that could be discussed in another stream. Also, back in 2008, when Barack Obama was running um, to become president, of course, there was uh, people that was did not feel comfortable in him because he was considered the first African American male to run for president, become president. But let's bear that in mind. Um, Barack Obama is mixed. Okay, um, he had a black father and a white mother. So actually, he became the first biracial president of the United States. And I see Irby has a comment in the chat which states, women can become president as long as they are qualified to be honest. We elected older people as president like Biden, Trump. We can just get elected women a similar age. Okay. And then he says facts. I mean, look, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why he's referred to as the first black president when he was biracially mixed. Okay. Um, of course, some people hold different views regarding Barack Obama. Some people say he was great. Some people say he wasn't so great. Actually, I'm going to say this much. He tried. Okay. He tried. Okay. Under Barack Obama, we did had the Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare. And while the Affordable Care Act does its issues and its problems and its hiccups, at least it was the first serious attempt to try to make sure that every U.S. citizen is granted medical coverage. Okay. And of course, unfortunately, there have been attempts to overturn the Affordable Care Act. Okay. But this is the issue. If you're going to overturn something, you need to have something in its place to replace it. And this is where I believe the reason why people failed to overturn the Affordable Care Act, because the fact of the matter is they didn't have anything in place to replace it. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that the Affordable Care Act should be done away with, but I do think uh, where there are areas where it needs improvement, we should work on the improvement. One thing that's going off gone off off the charts is the cost of medication, and particularly if you're an individual that needs those type of medication. Now I apologize for slightly detouring um, because the topic is women in politics, but nonetheless, as you can see here, women have achieved a great deal, and there's still a great deal for women to achieve. Okay, just to bear in mind, only 1/4 of the House um, consists of women. Okay, and there's still, to a certain extent, a double standard when women are running for office. uh, because it seems like women have to be twice as qualified as men for people to take them seriously. And I have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with women serving in politics. My concern is the following. Uh, Not just do they have the qualifications as far as the age, as far as the citizen status and have not, but what they plan to do and what actions they plan to follow up in order to achieve their goals. Because unfortunately, we're living in an age where people will promise something, and then once they get into office, they don't achieve it. So, for that reason, it's very important that whenever anyone is running for political office, male or female, we need to pay close attention to what they wish to accomplish. And we need to keep these under close scrutiny. And if any politician does not fulfill their promises, then we should vote these people out. Okay. And actually, a friend of mine put it very well. Whenever anyone is running for political office, they should treat it as a job interview, and we, the constituency, are the ones that hiring these individuals. Okay. Unfortunately, certain people once they get into either whether be local government, whether it be federal government or city government, once they get in, it's very hard for them to get unelected, um, because unfortunately, in order to overturn who's a politician requires a great deal of money. So I have spoken, well, maybe put it this way. I have tried to discuss this for over almost an hour. So what I'm going to do is, if anyone wishes to join the panel, they can do so. If anyone wishes to add any further comments, they can do so as well. If no one wishes to join the panel or add any comments, what I will do is, to wrap this up, okay, and again, I do apologize for the earlier technical difficulties. I will try to do better next time. What I will do, um, I'm going to just switch gears a little bit, and I'm going to be talking about what's going to be the first topic on my other channel known as Latina Diaspora, which I will air on Sunday. Um, Most likely it's going to be 7 o'clock. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be discussing some of the obstacles that members of the Latina diaspora have to face with. Such thing as identity, something is trying to retain cultural ties, and how we are perceived not just by those who are Latinos who were born outside the United States compared to non-Latino neighbors. So I will be sharing a discussion regarding that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share what I perceive as an obstacles that we have to face. And of course, everyone is more than welcome to share their point of view. Okay. Now, and it will be on the channel Latina Diaspora. Now, Tuesday, it's going to be Well, I think it's going to be an interesting tongue and cheek stream. And the topic is going to be taming the clowns. Okay. And what do I mean by that? I mean those certain individuals that try to create havoc on these in social media. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share certain things that we need to do to put these done to try to put these people in check. Mainly enabling the subscriber mode, meaning that if you're not a subscriber, if you really want to enter a comment, you will have to enter a comment. You have to become a subscriber to do so. And also keeping a close, try to keep a close tabs in the chat and make sure that no one, and I repeat, no one enters any inappropriate comments in the chat. So that's going to be the topic for Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Now, Thursday, I'm going to do another session regarding the achievement that women have made in the area of business. Okay. Now, the fact of the matter is, there are many things that women have achieved. Unfortunately, not everyone knows about them. Okay. Part of it is they truly don't know. Part of it is ignorance. Part of it is that they don't want publicly acknowledge that can do most things that a man can do. Okay. And and in many cases, okay, well, thank you, Irby, for stopping by. And again, I apologize for the text earlier. So, so that's what I'm gonna do um, on Thursday, and then the following Tuesday, okay. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have an open discussion, and I'm gonna see if the ladies would join the panel, and I would love to get their point of view uh, regarding what they see is the achievement that women have made and where we can do better. And just as importantly, what us men can do to be as well. So I'm going to reach out to the female creators. You know what? I might as well reach. Let me see. I'm going to reach out to Future. I'm going to reach out to Gigi, um, and some of the other female creators, and maybe reach out to Multi as well, if we can have um, a serious discussion. Because I think it'll be great perspective. Um, I can share articles. I can do the research. Unfortunately, I do not see things necessarily through their perspective. So I would really would appreciate this uh, this weekend. I'm going to reach out to the female some of the female creators and see if they'll be willing to hop on the panel with me. I don't think I'm going to close the panel, but I would appreciate getting their perspective. I think it would be very informative. So Uh, um, I'm just going to drop the link. Excuse me. Wishes to join the panel. Okay, just give me a moment. If no one wishes to join the panel and no one wishes to enter any further comments, I will wrap it up. So I think what I'll probably have to do, um, use a hotspot to try to rectify the problem with the Wi-Fi, because it can be embarrassing. So, but in any case, I do appreciate those who entered the chat, mainly Future, Gigi, and Herbie, and Don Armando. And it's rough when you have multiple YouTube creators doing streams at the same time, because basically we all more or less share the same audience. So, being that no one else is going to join the stream, or no one else is going to uh, um, add a comment, I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully, the next time that I discuss the achievement women have made, we'll have a larger audience. Okay. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is to highlight what they have achieved. Okay. And of course, sometimes you have to be brave enough to try to do something different. So I just want to thank all of you who either catch the stream live or will catch it on the playback. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this up, and I just want to say to everyone, please be good to each other, okay? And we will discuss this again, and hopefully I will see you this Sunday at 7 o'clock in Latina Diaspora, discussing what mainland Latinos have to overcome living in the U.S. So that being said, this has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, wishing all of you a good night. Be strong. Be strong.